Hello again. Tonight we will follow a young raccoon at the edge where creek and neighborhood meet. This is a real day, or rather a real night, told quietly and carefully. If you grow sleepy, let the story keep moving while you rest. Dusk softens the roofs and turns the water bronze. Our raccoon wakes in a dry, hollow space under an old porch. Raccoons often den in tree cavities, rock piles, storm drains, or tucked corners of buildings. They do not truly hibernate, but in cold spells they may stay denned for days, sleeping and saving energy. This evening is mild, so the night begins on time. A stretch, a slow yawn. Then the nose tests the air for information the eyes cannot see. The face mask is not for mischief. Dark fur can reduce stray glare around the eyes and the large pupils draw in low light. But the real genius is carried in the forepaws. Each hand has 5 nimble digits and dense touch receptors. When the skin is wet, sensitivity increases, as if the world's textures grow louder. Our raccoon steps down the porch rail. Hind feet can rotate to help descend head first, a climber's trick that turns vertical surfaces into careful ladders. Gravel whispers under the toes. The creek calls from beyond a fence. There is a familiar gap low to the ground, shared by foxes, cats, and small travelers who prefer not to be seen. At the water's edge, the night begins in earnest. Raccoons are omnivores and opportunists. They remember places that pay well, and they revisit them with patient curiosity. The creek hosts crayfish, aquatic insects, small frogs, and minnows that pause in the slack water behind stones. The raccoon kneels, forepaws submerged just enough to listen with skin. This is what looks like washing. It is not cleaning food for cleanliness' sake. It is a tactile examination, a way to map shapes in moving water. Pebble, leaf stem, a shell with corners, then a quick snatch and lift. Crayfish, The raccoon turns it, avoids the pincers, and eats with small, deliberate bites. Between bites, the ears swivel like separate instruments. One ear for upstream, one for the path behind. A dog barks far away, thin with distance. The raccoon freezes, calculating, still safe. The paws go back to work, feeling the riffles for life. A damselfly lands and the creek keeps composing its long, glassy sentence. The moon is not up yet. Clouds hold the street glow like a low ceiling. In this weather, scent travels differently. The raccoon notes the change and files it away. From the creek to the hedgerow. Edges are highways for wildlife. Fence lines, brush strips, and the shadow sides of garages stitch together a safe route. The raccoon moves with a practiced stop and start. A few steps, pause to scan. A few steps more. A compost bin. This one sometimes yields apple cores or carrot tops. Tonight it holds only paper and stems, and so it is ignored. A fallen pear under a backyard tree delivers quick sugar and water. Raccoon diets swing with the season. Insects and amphibians in wet months. Fruits and nuts when branches are generous. Corn, acorns, beetle grubs, and whatever human places leave unattended. The raccoon sits back on its haunches and uses both hands to turn the fruit. Seeds are chewed and spat. Juice darkens the mask. A quick groom smooths the fur back into weatherproof order. Across the alley, a gate latch clicks. The raccoon melts into the space under a deck. Stillness is a skill, too. When footsteps fade, the body unknots and the route resumes. Midnight brings a second visit to water. Streams cool the pause and reset attention. Now the raccoon tests a shallow pool fringed with reeds. The hands sweep slowly, left then right, with the lightest pressure that still finds edges. A frog twitches and the raccoon pauses. No chase. Tonight we are patient. Climbing practice. A leaning willow offers low branches. The raccoon goes up, tests bark with short grips, and comes down head first. Descending this way demands that the hind feet rotate and bite the trunk. The spine flexes. The tail balances. On the ground again, the heart rate settles. In a nearby culvert, water makes a round, echoing sound. Culverts are corridors. They carry not just water but foxes, rats, cats, and the occasional raccoon. Our traveler sniffs the mouth of the tunnel and decides to skirt the outside edge instead, where exits are many. A pair of eyes appears on a fence. Another raccoon, older and heavier, passes without comment. Raccoons are social in flexible ways, sometimes feeding near one another, sometimes alone, often adjusting to food and season. Beyond the hedges, a row of bins waits for morning collection. The raccoon remembers which lids are heavier and which handles stick. Memory is a map of meals and mistakes. Tonight, one lid is not quite seated. The raccoon lifts, leans, and pauses to smell before touching anything inside. Mixed scents report last week's menu. There is cooked rice, a rind of melon, and nothing dangerous. A few mouthfuls will do. Urban life is a trade. Food is closer, but so are cars and dogs. The safest hours are usually later at night, when people are home and streets grow still. Our raccoon keeps to the margins and moves on. A cat appears and decides that indifference is best. Two bodies pass at a respectful distance. The night closes again behind them like water behind a boat. Clouds thin. The moon lays a pale road across the creek. The raccoon returns to the first riffle to drink. Between sips, it scans for ripples that are not its own. The paws sample gravel, stick, and leaf. A beetle larva is uncovered and eaten quickly. Now the body asks for rest again. Raccoons often take short naps between foraging bouts, cycling through activity and stillness. Under a low cedar, the raccoon turns 3 small circles and settles. Breathing drops into a slow tide. If you are awake, you can follow that tide with your own breath. In and out. Count a gentle 4 on the way in, a gentle 4 on the way out. Let the shoulders soften and the jaw unclench. A breeze carries a faint rattle of paper. Somewhere a banner taps a fence. The raccoon opens one eye, listens, then closes it again. Not a threat. Not food. Just part of the city's own nocturnal talk. Near dawn, the creek grows silver. Birds string the first bright notes across the hedges. The raccoon grooms, combing the fur with curved claws to restore insulation and order. Mud is licked away from the fingers. Whiskers are dried with the back of the wrist. A last drink of clean water. If this were spring, kits might be waiting in a high den, eyes blue-gray and ears still soft. If this were winter, the raccoon might choose to delay the entire outing until weather eased. But tonight is a simple, ordinary night, and ordinary nights build strong animals. The raccoon crosses the yard behind the last garage and climbs the porch rail with an easy rhythm. Inside the den, air holds the smell of wood and dust and last week's sleep. The body curls into its own warm pocket. Breathing becomes small and even. The face rests on the forepaws the way a book closes on a favorite page. If you are still with us, let your breath match that ease. If you have drifted away, the creek will keep flowing for both of us. Thank you for keeping company with the night. Rest well. When evening comes again, the raccoon will rise and the hands will listen to the world once more.